What's up, everyone? I hope you have enjoyed the aftermath. I was not planning on doing this series. It just kind of started when I was down there in Oklahoma, and I just never stopped with it. I've done some series like this before where I had some good finishes. And I was like, you know what? Let's do one. You know, I didn't know what was going to happen when I started doing this, right? It was during practice. It was probably one of my worst finishes I've had. I actually moved up in the points, which is funny. A lot of that's due to because who knows why. It's funny. A lot of these guys around here don't want to go travel to other places. So yeah, I moved up to the top 10 of the points. It was definitely a very frustrating event. I figured it probably would be. Now, what do I take away from that, or why do I do these series? I've told you all this a bunch. YouTube is frustrating. It's very frustrating. Social media is very frustrating. We all put out there these things that it's hard. It's hard. Everyone wants to make, you know, these perfect videos. Everyone wants to say there's this perfect bait. There's a perfect way to catch them. They just show you all everything's perfect on YouTube, right? Everything's perfect on social media. There's no flaws. No one ever messes up. No one ever has bad events. No one ever loses fish, not catches fish. Every time they go out, they crush on them. It's not the case. Not the case for any of us. So I wanted to show y'all what a real sometimes tournament looks like. I think for most of y'all, this happens to y'all as well. It's happened to me my whole life. Like, tournaments are hard. They're hard to do good in all of them. All of us fishermen always laugh about the fact that our whole lives, we usually don't end up winning, right? I mean, I'd say most of the time we don't win tournaments. So it's very hard to win one. It's very hard to do good in them. But that's why I like making these videos for y'all, is to kind of show y'all that, you know, sometimes you come up with a good game plan and it doesn't work out. This one I felt was it was frustrating because it always is the hardest thing to do. There's a lot of things that happen in tournaments, right? Where you find the fish and they're not there, they don't bite, or things like that. Topwater fishing, and I've had one. If y'all remember the last day of the Toyota Championship, where I was in second place going into the last day, and I had all those fish miss. I didn't really lose any. I mean, I lost one on a boat dive that got me hung up and stuff. But you know, like, what do? You have them blow up, and you know, sometimes it makes you a lot of money getting those fish to bite. Sometimes they miss. What's frustrating is when you get them to bite in practice and they keep eating, and then in the tournament, we all know this, you have weird things happen where they just keep missing. And it was just incredible. Now, what's crazy is the next day, I didn't miss any. I didn't have any bite. I mean, I went from getting bit every single day, and then the final day, the second day, I didn't hardly get any of them bite. I changed that swim jig. And when I changed that swim jig, should I have done it earlier in practice? Yes. Should I have tried it on day one of the tournament? Yes. But I was getting bit, so it was hard for me to see. It was really easy for me to change on day two because I wasn't getting bit. I knew something had changed. I think I would have caught some fish. I think I would have caught some keepers. I probably wouldn't caught enough that day to make the cut if I'd have just caught 3 more keepers. So that was the frustrating part, was that I didn't change. What can I say? I'm human, right? I change a lot. I try to do a lot of different things that day. I tried to, if you watch my videos, you see that I tried to do a lot of different things in practice. I kept an open mind. I tried to do some stuff. Just never fished the boat docks. Just wasn't going to be one of those things I wanted to go do. It was a lot easier to get bit doing that than I thought. I was shocked about how, now granted, I know a lot of them were small, but yeah, it was a way to get bit. Could I have kept doing it on day 2? Absolutely. Do I think I would have caught a 4-pounder on day 2 doing it? Honestly, I kind of think I would have. Would I have caught multiple ones? No, I don't think so. I don't know. It's a hard one. I would like to have gone and seen. Throughout all that, I still wanted to show y'all how I practice. Because I think still to this day, and a lot of people don't like these videos or don't understand them. Most of y'all that understand them get it. Y'all get the fact of what I'm trying to show y'all, and that there's no perfect technique out there. No one, in this day and age, no one's hardly winning a tournament anymore doing one thing throughout the entire event. Like, you have to be very open-minded. You have to really change with the fish. You have to do a lot of different things. And so I'm hoping that somewhere along the way, you picked up on something through there, throughout the event, my thought process, how I changed, what I did, all these different things, and go, oh, man, I wouldn't have looked at it that way, or I wouldn't have tried it that way, or all these different things. I got a lot of people talk about those topwater bites and like, man, why would you throw a frog there? I would have thrown it, this, or I would have thrown a walking bait, or I would have thrown this. And it was before the series was over. And I was having to bite my tongue because I wanted to be like, oh, trust me. I tried it in practice. And I had one bite on a sexy dog, but that was the only bite I had. And so there were other things that I tried. And like I said, I was just trying to it was hard because I already knew, but it was hard for me not to sit there and comment back to y'all. Usually I try to comment back to y'all, but I was like, hey, I did try all this stuff. And so, yeah, I wanted to show y'all that I look at all those things. I put all of that in the video to try to explain all of it, because what I still think, everyone's still on YouTube, trying to show you that special bait, right? And that special technique that's just going to win every tournament for y'all and catch all the fish. And is it true? I mean, you can do that at times. And a lot of times you can do it in these ponds or in these little lakes where no one fishes. But like, I'm just telling y'all, if you can catch them on a highly pressured lake, right, that in tough conditions and things like that, we run into those all the time. And usually if you can catch them on that, going to a place that's kind of easy, you're going to double the fish you're used to catching. I'm just telling you. So like, that's why I try to show you all those videos. I try to put it all together. Everything I put in those, everything. There's not a single clip in that entire series, whether it be what I did, where I didn't catch a fish, to show y'all why I moved. If y'all ever wondering, like, why is he showing him picking up the trolling motor and moving to the next spot? I wanted to show y'all how much I moved. I wanted to show y'all how fast I went. I wanted to show y'all how many different things I did. I wanted to show you the process and the thought process of why I was doing those things. Every single clip, every 10 seconds in those videos are in there for a reason. They're all in there because I'm trying to paint the picture and give y'all the whole thing. Now remember, I cut up 3 days of practice and 2 days of video into about, 2.5 hours. So literally, what is that? 10 hours a day, 30 hours of practice, and 16 hours, 46 hours of fishing. I'm trying to compress it in 2.5 hours. And believe me, there's not enough time. I mean, I needed about 20 hours to really show y'all everything that went on. But I'm trying to show y'all that stuff. I'm trying to give y'all a real representation of how we go about practicing, what we think about some of these places. I will say this. This is the funny part. This is not a slight. This is just what it is. I'm probably going to do a video about this. They had the BPT there a couple weeks earlier, or like, what was it, 2 weeks earlier, and they had high water and all these things, and Zach Burge winning. They don't tell you a couple things about that. And that's the interesting part. What they don't tell you is this. I didn't know where Zach Burge fished. I've always told you I don't really care. The only reason I ever want to know is because I don't want to go there. Well, guess what? I did not go there. No one went there. No one. No one went there in this event. You actually could have fished where Zach caught them all. Y'all can go there right now and go fish it. We just didn't go there. None of us in the tournament. Why? Because it was off limits. So at Eufaula Lake, we're out of this marina. And in this marina, it's probably one of the best marinas in the entire country because they let all the fish go. Now, it gets better as you hit more into the summer and the fall and things like that. And the reason it is because they dump all these fish there. They have all these Saturday, they have all the weekend tournaments, they have all all these different tournaments. And in the evening times, I'm pretty sure, if I remember, you can fish in there. No one leaves. It's pretty funny too that they have these tournaments and they're really like stock pond tournaments because no one ever leaves. They all fish in there. And I believe, and this is from a buddy of mine, so I'm not 100% sure, but a guy who lives there, and he was telling me this after like day 2 of practice. He was like, like first and second, he was telling me all the guys in the BBT that fished in that marina that made the cut, that all were fishing. That's why you heard him go, oh, they're doing laps around each other. I'm like, oh, that's why? Yeah. I would have done the same thing. That's why I'm not knocking it. I'd have been right there telling y'all that. However, I bring that up for this. What do I always talk about in these videos? I talk about they never talk about practice. They never talk about all these different things that go into finding these fish, right? They just show you, oh, look, I caught them this way or I caught them that way. By all means, you don't need anything I just told you about this video to go fish Eufaula Lake if you just go to that marina. Just go to that marina, catch all the fish you want to. The release fish, there's just fish that were put in there. There's no pattern. I mean, they'll probably a little small. You just go in there. You can probably throw 20 different baits in there and catch fish, and that's great. Does that help you though? Does that help you at your lake or what you're trying to do? No. And so it was a great example of why I do these videos and what I'm trying to show y'all how to catch fish. And I do show y'all the baits. I'm throwing the baits that I think are really good, that I think really work, and do different things, right? And I'm showing you different techniques within all of that. And I think it's helpful. I think if you can pick up on just a couple little things I did that you're like, you know what, I'm gonna try that, or I'm gonna implement that. I think that's how you catch a bunch more fish. Not showing you this secret little bait that I got, and I go out to a little stock pond and I catch 8 fish. I don't think that helps y'all. I don't think. I could be wrong. It seems on YouTube these days that, like I said, this series didn't get a ton of views. Like I said, maybe I didn't clickbait it enough. Maybe I didn't do, like I said, I don't think most people want that quick fix. They don't actually want to learn. But I do have a internal fight with myself to go, don't stop doing what you're doing. Keep making videos like this because I know people still want this. And I got to kind of stay true to myself. I just don't want to go down that path where everyone else goes down. So, yeah, I'm going to keep making these videos and keep making these series. I got a bunch more. This kind of interfered with a bunch of them, but I haven't forgotten any of the other ones. I've been working on them, so they're coming out. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed everything, guys. See y'all.